Hey, you there! Thank you for watching, and welcome to Forge Lines Forever. Today I have a 6v6 custom match here on the most amazing Noxus map generator. So let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players. Starting off with Team 1 in the north, ending with Team 2 in the south. Starting off with Team 1's eastern player, then going our way westward, we have in Royal Blue, Team 1's U. He is a Seraphim as a 2200. He is the highest rated player on Team 1. Next door to him, we have in Pac-Man Yellow, Twitchy Mofo as a Cybern as a 1500. To the northwest here in Tropical Ocean Blue is Darth Sand, actually matching the crystals in this environment. He is a Seraphim as a 1400. To his south in Light Oak Town is Team 1's Aeon player. In the middle, it is Kilat Moro. Killa for short. He is an Aeon, like I said, as a 1300. To his northwest, we have in not Pac-Man, but Barbie Pink, Zelda Fanboy. He is a Seraphim as a 1300. And last but not least, for Team 1, another 1300 is Brother Elias. Brother Eyes, I think is how you say that name. He is a Seraphim as a 1300. So for Team 1 side of the map, they have 4 Seraphim, 1 Cybern, 1 Aeon. Team 1 lacks the UEF faction. Starting off for Team 2's western player, then going eastward, we have in Rust Team 2's Sandman. I can actually speak correctly. 27. He is a Cybern as an 1100. To his east in Ruby Red is the only UEF player of the game. It is Rye Guys as a 1200 in Ruby Red. To his northeast, we have in Snow White Sandman. He is a Cybern as a 1500. So we have Sandman and we have Sanoman. So hopefully I will pronounce the O in Sanoman so I don't confuse myself and everybody else watching. To the south, we have in Forest Green, the best color in Supreme Commanderdom. It is Hyper 2001. He is a 1400. In Lightest Red Pink to his east is Rekather. He is a 1600 as Team 2's only Seraphim player. And to his east, we have as another Cybern, we have Nomander. He is a 2300, the highest rated player on Team 2 and in the game overall in orange, color orange. So for Team 2's side of the map, they have 4 Cyberns, 1 UEF, 1 Seraphim. Team 2 lacks Aeon, Team 1 lacks UEF, but each team has 4 of one particular faction. So I expect to see at least 1 Telemazer commander out of Team 2, given they have 4 Cybern players. And I expect to see at least, most likely, an Awasa or maybe a YOLO in this game from Team 1. And for these 12 players on the map, particular Capricorn, they have to scoop up, currently sitting at 133,000 mass. I don't think that's the most mass I've ever seen, but that is, that's a lot of mass. And that makes it, let's just say, 10,000+ mass per player in reclaim. That is so much reclaim to scoop up in this game. 130,000 mass is just an absolutely, it's way too much to fathom in this game. And of course, with some mixes on the map here for Team 1 and Team 2 to scoop up, but the main focus is going to be just the reclaim. I mean, there's a couple of Trimix positions in the middle for Team 1 and Team 2 to grab, and of course a couple of mixes dotted around their main landmass, but realistically, it's all about that reclaim, and that's going to be the main focus. There is, of course, just so much for these players to scoop up. It's relatively on this western side. There is some, of course, dotted around the main players' mass over here to the east and the west. In the middle, there is some down the middle as well, but it's mainly on this western side. So engineers are abounding, and I think it's going to be more engineer production than anything else for these western players. For these 2 teams, Sandman going for his gun speed and range upgrade in the west. And of course, I don't know what it is about the map generator lately, but this style of land water coloration thingamajig, very popular for some reason. Don't know why. It looks nice, to be fair, in my opinion, but it's very, very popular. I've casted a lot of games recently with this sort of color scheme, I guess would be the way to phrase it, for this environment. We do have a couple of Team 1 frigates. No subs, surprising as of yet, here from either team. And again, it is a large section of the map, this eastern pond. And of course, normally the same relatively ranked players will be in the same position. Nomander for Team 2 is over here, and U is over here for Team 1. Actually, okay, scratch that. Technically, it's the horizontal line. That is the dividing line, not the... for some reason, I thought it was a vertical line. Forget what I just said. I'm just going nuts. I think I'm still reeling over the 130,000 mass on the field and reclaim kind of thing. So forget that I just said anything and continue on just as if I did not make a mistake. Anyway, in the West, Sandman going for an upgrade. I think he's really the only one going for an upgrade as of yet here for Team 2. Surprisingly enough, there are 2 Sirens in the water and no torpedo upgrade. Team 1 has 1 Siren and 1 Seraphim in the water. Their only Siren for Twitchy Mofo, so no torpedo upgrades. It's kind of interesting. We do see in the West Brother Eyes going for his speed and range upgrade. We do see Zelda Fanboy pushing down the middle again. Team 1 doing a decent job of grabbing the middle and, of course, reclaiming as they go to a little bit deny reclaim for Team 2, but, of course, get that up and running Team 2. But to be fair, they are lagging behind Team 2 slightly at 44,000 mass and 35,000 mass. We can see those totals are skyrocketing immediately. 8 minutes almost on the clock, and we have players approaching 75, 80 mass per second. 3 in Navy, says Twitchy Mofo. Yes, there are 3 players in Navy for Team 2, but Team 2's Eastern player of No Matter is being bombarded by the forces of you and Twitchy Mofo. And, of course, they're trying to isolate the highest rated player on this eastern side and then go westward trying to claim this section of the map, because they could easily knock him out once Navy is gone. So he's going to have to be very careful, especially also, of course, for you as well, for sticking in Navy as long as possible. Navy is big enough, like the pond section is big enough to be able to actually have relatively decent fleets for both teams, but once they essentially the battleships get right about here, they'll be able to hit anything they want to. So not having UEF in either fleet is going to really hurt, obviously, because they don't have bulwark shields. I mean, they can deploy some asylums or the T3 hover, like parashield units here for the Seraphim side of things, but it's not as effective as getting those bulwarks on station. Team 1's Western aggression is doing very well. Both Brother and Zelda are moving in, and Ryguy's trying to force them back, but there's just a lot of aggression moving in. Zelda has no upgrades, Ryguy's has no upgrades. Brother does have a gun upgrade, and we have Sandman going for nano and guns, so that should be able to stop at least the western edge of aggression. In the middle of the map, we do see that Team 2 has distance built a little bit down and has now clamped the southern or the lower section of the middle of the map here. We do see that Ryguy is able to do some damage to Zelda, and that is the first com-on-com action, with the second soon to follow with Sandman and Eyes having some annoying words with one another, saying, hey, get away from this side of the map. This is my side of the map. Go away. We do see some Torp launching subs over here to the east, taking out the T2 Naval headquarters. And there is some Team 1 Torp launchers being built by Twitchy, but I don't think they're focusing on the right units, because there's a lot of torpedoes. They're trying to heal, but it's not really going to work. I think that headquarters is going to get knocked out. Of course, Team 1 still will have a T2 Naval headquarters for you, but again, losing one could be devastating, especially specifically because Team 2's naval players, at least the ones in the water, have T2 naval facilities online already. And still, Zelda and Ryguy's having some words. Ryguy's, again, no veterancy, no upgrades. Zelda has 1 veterancy, so it just barely has more hit points than Ryguy's, but still no upgrades. Brother has retreated, and Sandman continuing to push. See, I knew I would say it at some point. I'm just so accustomed to saying Sandman. I've casted him a few times, at least, but Sandman, that not having that O there is kind of I just forget that his name is not Sanoman, it is Sandman. The missiles outbound. There is a TMD. It's a volcano. It'll scoop up that missile very easily. So unfortunately, it will not be able to strike that T2 mechs. And the missile is now wasted, but of course it's striking at other targets as we speak. And that's from Alright Guys' position right here. And still, Zelda Fanboy continuing to push. There are some Ilshis, though. So Team 2 could lose their only UEF player here. They'll still have the tech available to them, but they'll lose the commander itself, so no billion nukes for Team 2. Ilshi's actually not focusing on the Calm of Rye guys, and he has a parachute he can hide under. He has some tanks as well, but it's kind of tight between those two players. In the west, we do see Brother Eyes and Sandman playing some nice little hide-and-go-seek here with these mountains, so these little cliffside, not cliffsides, little summits or whatever you want to call those. T2 Naval Headquarters does end up actually surviving, coincidentally enough. I'm actually kind of surprised about that. There are some Barracudas online, so that was probably what saved the headquarters for Team 1. And it feels kind of fast. The game was running really, really quickly. I don't know, just because everything's happening all at once. But I was, a little bit accelerated in terms of the replay speed just to get the intros and get people moving to the middle of the map. But it seems like it's just really popping off. And of course, this is a clan match, or at least mostly is. We have 7 of the 12 players at least showing the FC clan tag. And that would obviously indicate that most of the players are actually on comms, which explains why there's so little chat. And most of it, of course, is just with notifications of upgrades and that sort of thing. We do see that Team 2 is now slowly, once again, losing the naval combat as the middle of the map is now going into Team 1's control. Salem starting to poke and prod at a couple of the engineers going for reclaim. Region Aura started for you. Torpedo started for Twitch and Mofo. Love to see that. I did notice that Hyper 2001 went for Torpedo, and he's now building T2 on his comm, and he has Nano. Will he go straight for T3? Yeah, he will go straight for T3. I don't know what he's up to, but he builds Torpedo on board. Makes me think he's going to go into the water. Gun speed and range has been started for Zelda. He's now at 2-star veterancy, and Right Guys now is at 1. And Team 2's Sandman has been able to push back Bro Eyes a little bit. He is at 2-star veterancy now, and of course he already has his gun on board. In the east, laser cannons are now opening up on the T2 Naval Headquarters for Nomander. And again, he's still in the water. I feel like he could easily just go for a Torp upgrade, just to, again, constantly put out some damage from his commander. He's being outranged by cruiser missile fire, and of course those laser cannons barely miss their targets. And it's just not really looking good for Team 2 in terms of the numbers. And Nomander looks like he's actually being targeted by Torp bombers. He does take a hit, at least a tiny bit. Looks like a couple of boats ended up actually taking most of the damage for him. But that angle of attack, he will take more damage. And the headquarters actually does go down, so that actually might have been the main target instead. Team 2's Nomander loses T2 Naval Tech. There's still 2 players in Navy that have T2, but they don't have as many units as Team 1 does, and they are just throwing everything down their throats. That Team 1 is Nano Repair almost done here for Zelda. Now he's going for Regen Aura, so being a little bit tanky as well as regenerating his units nearby, so he's going to be highly aggressive with that commander. Right Guy starts his gun upgrade, so it's going to be a little bit of an interesting game here if Team 1's Zelda pushes in. 14 minutes on the clock and nobody has died yet, so that is a plus here for everybody in the game. You gotta love it when players make it to 30, 40, 50, 60 minutes, hour of nobody dying. I don't think I've ever, have I cast a game with nobody dying at an hour? I don't think so. I don't think I've cast a game where everybody has made it to an hour time, but there probably is a game somewhere. Team 2's Hyper 2001 with T3, Nano, and Torpedo on board, moving into the water to assist. Nomander's facilities have been completely destroyed, and now he's facing some cruiser missile fire from you. Stealth started here for Twitchy Mofo, and you hanging out with his regen aura. And again, the torpedo will help out a decent amount, but I feel like Nomander could have gone for that a little bit earlier on, but he's decided to retreat and probably go for it. He's going to go for T2, probably building some more of those zappers to defend against those missiles. Team 2's middle player here of Sanoman doing a very good job of just holding it, not allowing any sort of movement down from Team 1. Again, the only discrepancy, though, is the fact that it's a disconjointed middle lane, so you have a lower section of the map, and there's no way to really access that lower section unless you transport units across or down or up, depending on the direction. So realistically, this part of the map is kind of just there. It just exists. It's not really super strategic, but it's not super useful either. I mean, it's just there. It just exists. In the west here, Team 2's Sandman all by his lonesome, now facing off against some Otham fire. Probably needs to get some more assisting units and get out of there, because he's probably going to die here if more of those Othams and other Team 1 spam surround him. He is getting some T2 units nearby, but that's a lot of firepower, and he's losing hit points very quickly now. Even with Nano on board, he definitely needs a nice little regen from a veterancy, but he's not going to get it. Team 2 will lose the first player of the game, and that is now Sandman, so I don't have to forget to say Sanoman, or whatnot to confuse myself between the two players. So that is the first departure of the game. Team 1 sits at 6 players remaining. Team 2 at 5. And Guys actually drops pretty close to the red here as well. He does have a lot of PD as well as some units nearby to support him. No parashields. That's kind of a missed opportunity there, but it is going to prevent Team 1 Zelda from pushing in and trying to take him out as well. And with the death of Sandman, Nomander takes control of the western side. I feel like he should give that over to Guys just because he's right there. But he could be focusing on getting more eco, which is fair because this position is slowly dying for Nomander on the eastern side. Advanced regen ore coming online here for Rekather. And he's going to try to keep his naval units online for as long as possible. And again, Team 1 is in the lead for naval supremacy. And once the main T2 facilities are knocked out, Team 2 is gone. And that's not going to be good here for this eastern side, specifically, again, with 2 bases firmly in range of cruiser plus battleship range. And then, of course, that does allow for land invasions to occur. A couple of T3... Actually, no, those are T2, not T3. T2 Spectre gunships online. There is some T1 AA being spammed up, and, of course, ASFs from Hyper 1001. Take those apart very, very quickly. Small note of air fight will occur, and it might just end up with kind of a net 0 for both of the air players here for Team 1 and Team 2. Sand. It's T1 AA, so it's nothing too crazy. And it will net Darth Sand with a little bit more ASFs, but again, talking about half a squadron, not really a huge amount in favor of Team 1. One advantage is better than nothing, I guess, but it's not by much. We do see that the remaining forces from Brother Eyes continuing to push, but they're meeting some decent resistance. And now, of course, Guys continuing to just go back and forth. Zelda back up to almost full HP. He has the advanced nano regen on board. At least I think he has advanced nano regen on board. It's kind of hard to tell because the middle circle is kind of small to see, but I think he does. I can obviously just click on him to check.
Commander under attack.
No, he doesn't. It just looks like it does. It's very hard to actually see it on that small little icon. He is taking a decent chunk of hit points to the face, and Guys, he's also lost a decent chunk of hit points as well. So both players at a very peculiar place to be at, because if they both engage, they might actually end up killing one another. But to be fair, Zelda's at 10,000 and Guys is at 5, so it's a lot of hit points to be behind. But Zelda's losing hit points pretty quickly now due to T2 PD coming into range and T1 as well. Zelda's pushing in. I think he wants Guys' comm. Zelda falls into the red, sub 4,000 hit points, and he might die from this. 2,000 hit points, 1,600, 1,500. Ooh. It looks like Guys is going to go for the kill. 1,100, 800, 700, 500, 600. I have saying numbers here. Oh, he gets a rank of veterancy, and it saves him 5,000 hit points now. That'll be enough to save him. Ooh, that was very close. Very, very close for him going down. You did see a nice little Autumn trying to assist, but that's not really going to go anywhere. Nano repair started here for Rekather in the pond. Do we have a secondary air player for Team 1? No, that's T2 air. That's T2 air. That's, of course, T3, T2. And oh, no, we have T3 air in the form of U in the east. Laser has been started for Nomander. Maybe he'll go for teleport pretty early. And he has no... So I guess he has a T3 land facility over here to the west and a T2 air as well, going for Corsairs. And I don't see a secondary air player for Team 2 in terms of T3 tech. The Team 2 is still holding on. Engineer spam to the east here from Sanoman, probably going for Reclaim. Team 1 sending out 1.1k mass income. Team 2, 900. Reclaim situation. Team 1, 107. Team 2, 124. So, Reclaim-wise, Team 2 is winning, but that only amounts to small gains, specifically, of course, due to the fact that Team 2, actually, to be fair, is leading the mass totals by just a smidgen, essentially as much Reclaim as they scooped up more. But that number will slowly fade as Team 1 not produces more mass. I guess produce mass would be the case. Mines more mass. Collects more mass. Man, some verb that describes gaining more mass. A couple of sniper bots, but we have T2 missile fire as well as a couple of just more triads that are actually still in range of that shield. In the west, a couple of bricks versus a couple of Othams. Again, numbers would definitely favor Team 2 in that regard. And a couple of Othams actually do land from Zelda, but they do get EMP'd a little bit, and not going to be that useful now that they're destroyed. T3 harm pressure being built here by Hybrid 2001. That's why he went for the T3 engineering suite and nano and torpedo. Now he has 3 of them online, and it's heavily pushing back Team 1's fleet. And it's, again, shifting it eastward. Granted, Team 2 has already lost their fleet, being Nomander, on that eastern side. But it is forcing the engagement away from these 2 naval facilities over here, which is, again, the most important thing Team 2 has in Navy. Like I said, once they lose that, that's pretty much game over for that. Aspirations for going into the water in this game. T3 started for Killa Killa. Completely just could not speak. Tom does not want to work today. My tongue doesn't want to work any day in terms of speaking whenever I cast games. I don't know what it is, but my tongue just seizes up and just doesn't want to pronounce words correctly. And in the west, of course, Zelda fanboy continuing to just stay underneath shield coverage. He does have 19,000 hit points, almost 20,000. Nice grouping of units there for Zelda to grab. It'll almost get him 5-star veterancy. They are mainly T2 tanks, so he doesn't really have a lot to fear from them. Right, guys, probably should go for nano. He is getting a lot of reclaim, though, and that's his main focus, is just scooping up all of those Othams. Chicken on the western side, though, for Brother Eyes is definitely not going to help things for Team 2. But those torpedo spamming harms are really doing wonders, taking out all of the T2 units here. Of course, they have torp defenses on board, but the main issue, of course, is they just don't have the range. There is a little bit of some ground firing, but the AoE on board those Salems actually are not wide enough to be able to target the harm. So this is just tons of damage going to nowhere when they can easily just go to something else. And we do see continual pressure here, but the only disadvantage for the harms is that they are constructed above the water, or mostly above the water, and then they sink a little bit below that. So they can still be targeted by naval units a lot easier than the ones that are sitting underneath the surface of the water. So T3 battleships definitely need to be produced by Team 1 to be able to take out those harms more effectively. Or they can go for crabs. They go for Awasa bombers. Those would work, but T2 is not really going to work here in that regard. Harm does get denied, it looks like. And Rekather's over here regenning or his nearby friendly allies. We do see laser targets are just more numerous for Team 1 versus Team 2. So again, those lasers are really just they're really lasering everything. They're just singeing everything in their path. Chicken did not engage. And in the west, Team 1, Zelda gets overwhelmed by Percy and Ryguys. Ryguys does not end up succumbing to the explosion, but is pretty low on hit points. T3 artillery raining in. So that's going to keep him on the move. Percy's continued to pressure, and they need to target those T3 artillery units if he wants to keep that firebase online. Oh, look at that. Just the entire base is gone. And there's also some sniper bots in there for Team 2 to wrestle with. But it's now a tie game here at 24 minutes. Team 1 has 5 players left, just losing Zelda Fanboy, and Team 2 lost Sandman first. And for the Ego situation, Team 1 at 1.2, 1.3. But Team 1's player of Killa gets teleported on by Nomander. Look at that very early telemazer. As I was saying, and doing the kind of like what's going on recap, whatever you want to call it. Nomander teleports in, kills off Killa, and teleports out of there. He goes west looking for Brother, but he's going to take out the T3 land headquarters and a couple of P-gens. That's going to hurt. So nice grab there by Nomander. He's at 71,000 mass killed, and now he teleports out. Where's he going now? Did he go back home? He went back into the water, actually. He went down here. But nice grab there. Almost got a double kill, but Brother was not there. Looks like he's teleporting in again. He's going over here, going after all the headquarters is for Team 1. Essentially knocking out T3 Tech and slowing the ability for them to produce land units, or just any other units for that matter. Going to take out the other headquarters while he's just headquarters assassinating Team 1. And will he take out the Autumn? Nope. I think he's going to go back in the water now. Oh, he's going to go down here. Wow, he's doing a lot. Oh, that laser does not target that. There we go. Takes out that T3 mech. He's killed off 88,000 mass and climbing. I'll continue my recap of what's going on after he's done teleporting all around the map. So where's he going now? He's going up here, taking out that T3 mech. Man, he is just not letting Team 1 get a break. And look at this. It looks like he also took out the air headquarters right here. I didn't see that teleport. That is really hurting Team 1. He's going to teleport here and then teleport back over here and then back here. Ooh, he's not. Oh, he is barely in range of that T2 mech. T1 PD trying to be built, but it's not going to matter because I don't think the T1 PD has range to hit him. No, it doesn't even have range to hit him, so it doesn't even matter at this point. He's going to teleport over here. Takes out more T3 mexes. Ooh, this is not good for Team 1's eco at all. Probably going to drop him to 1,000, if not less than that. Now he's going to teleport over here on top of you and Dart Sand. Look at this mad lad of a commander. He just will not stop moving. Oh, the bomb doesn't even get to hit him anyways. Or he's going to build T2. Nope. Looks like he's going to force you and Dart Sand to just spend some mass on some torp launchers. Yeah, he's not even doing anything. He's just going to teleport in and call it a day. ACU 2 of them. Yep, he knows what they are. It's huge. All that mass income just going the way of the dodos. And more T3 mechs is being knocked out. Ooh, that's just not great here for Team 1. Everybody is hurting. No one is safe from the wrath of Nomander this game. And it looks like that's T3 artillery is going to hit him. Oh, he's losing a lot of hit points. Oh, gets out of there. Where's he going now? That's more T3 mechs. This guy is just on a tear. I think I might just split things just so I can see what else is going on in terms of the rest of the map. Because the naval combat's still going, but Team 2 is still holding. Team 1 torp bombers now trying to just deal with that commander. He teleports and goes over here. And another T3 mechs, another T3 mechs, another T3 PGen. Oh, it's just not great here for Team 1 at all. Looks like he's going to go back in the water. And Team 1 bombers are en route. He will get out of there for most of them. This is annoying. This is killer. That's probably why Nomander is doing that. Dang, look at that drop. 800, 750. That is massive for Team 2 to get ahead in the eco side of things. Oh, wow. Nomander is going to teleport out. Does he go back for more aggression? He goes, okay, he goes back further home. Okay. 153,000 mass killed with that comm. That is nuts. 140 kills. That's insane that he went on a tear for that long. I mean, look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And then, of course, the air grid. 17. I'd say probably about 20 or so mexes plus a ton of PGens and air facility grid. Like, that's huge. Of course, there's inbound here from Nomander, so he's just going to continue to pressure the western side. Oh, those mexes are not having a good day today, that's for sure. So Team 1 sitting at 1.2k mass income. Team 2, 1.5k mass income. They just lost Killa to Moro due to the teleportation from Nomander. Let me know down in the comments now who you think is going to win this game. And, of course, if you haven't done so already, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. And thank you so very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. We do see that Nomander has gifted over his original base to Rekethur because, well, Rekethur's right here, and he's moved over here to the west. Looks like he's going to hide in the corner and just kind of hang out for the rest of the match. I don't blame him. He went on a tear, and Team 1 is probably going to be gunning for him whenever they see him. He's public enemy number 1. Harms, of course, still holding position and doing a very good job of keeping Team 1 at bay. There is now, unfortunately, a T3 battleship online in the Galaxy class variety here for Twitchy Mofo. But the hordes of T2 Cormorant class torpedo bombers are inbound, and that is a lot of them. The battleship may not finish, actually. A couple of the engineers do soak up a little bit of that damage. Oh, just barely, not enough, but the second pass will do that the naval facility in. Oh, the battleship does finish, though. That's going to be very, very helpful, though, for Twitchy Mofo for keeping this position online. But he will lose the headquarters nonetheless. That is just very, very disheartening for Team 1. Of course, the huge amount of loss in mass income and PGens and whatnot. We do see those T3 ambushing systems are being just ripped apart by tons of torpedoes, as well as, of course, ground firing from battleships. And it looks like the missiles are doing some damage. The missiles are doing damage, and Brother actually just control Ks. Don't really know what happened with that, but I should have built more. There's no conversation about it, so he probably had to go or something. So Team 1 loses another player, dropping this game to a 3v5 in favor of Team 2, with Darsan getting control of the entire western side. And it looks like Ragai's talking about a power stall. Should have just built more. Yeah, probably. Probably should have built more, but he should be fine, though. He's not having a lot of pressure here from this western side anyways. Lots of ASFs over here protecting some bombers, but the main goal, they took out the FAF boy that was bothering them. ASF engagement will actually favor Team 2, I think, in terms of the numbers and the just initial engagement, especially because the air facilities are being rebuilt, of course, and being expanded upon as we speak, but that's a lot of time where Team 1, Zarsan, didn't produce as many ASFs as Hyper 2001 did. I do like the fact that he's using the land to his advantage and not just building an entire giant square right here. He's kind of curving the air facilities so that way he can maximize his build space. I do love to see that. And then, of course, it's a nice shape so that way it's not as cascadey as other boxy shapes would be. Most of those harms have been dealt with. T3 Naval Headquarters online for Rekather. I think that's a different facility. It used to be right over here. Lots of TMD have been built to deal with the cruiser missile spam. Some missiles are starting to break through, though. So it's not as all-powerful as they would want it to be. They need to shift the TMD up just a little bit more to intercept them better and not let them get even closer to that headquarters. More and more Salems outbound from Sanoman, so he's pumping out T2 units and T4 units while his teammate is pumping out T3. That's just a lot of cruisers. One battleship, T3 naval facility upgraded once again, and now online here in the east for you. Darsan says give, probably talking about the chicken. For some reason it was gifted over to you, but probably because it was originally gifted over to him with the departure of Brother. But look at this pressure here still from Ragais. There's a huge hole, and that chicken not engaging is kind of hurting Team 1 significantly. There is some T3 artillery units over here, but I'm not going to do that much damage to moving targets. There's some Perseus in here, some bricks in here, a couple other T2 tanks. So this is going to be a dead base here for Darsan. I don't think it'll get super close to his air facility, but never mind. No matter teleports in anyway, so forget that. Takes out another PGen, takes out half of the air grid. Can't hit anything else. Needs to teleport out of there. 180,000 mass. He goes into this little section of water. And that guy just will not stop. He's like, give chicken, give chicken, give chicken. This chicken is built. It's being sent to intercept the ground forces. Ragai's continuing to just push, 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 push. Lots of AA has been being built and will continue to be built, but that's probably going to be stopped. But T2 Torp Bombers have found Nomander's comm. They want him dead. And he's like, okay, 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 I'll leave. It's fine. Well, the Torp Bombers, do they still have him sighted in? They don't know where he is, so I'm interested to see if they actually will launch stuff at him. That bomber is very close to the ground. That's very weird. Yeah, it looks like they knew where he was, so it almost seems like if you click on a unit with some sort of, whatever it is, it will actually just continue to follow the unit regardless if it teleports across the map. And there he goes again. Let's see if it goes to Normander's commander. He's down here. No, maybe not. Huh. But it looked like it was on a direct collision course with the comm. And that's gotta hurt. He's building a nuke as well. Definitely not a good place to stand, though. Well, if that explodes, it's not a good day for him. Crab does actually make it through the whole nest of nonsense and continues on northward, going after the infrastructure for Twitchy. Without any power, it's really hard to build naval units. And Twitchy, how's your power? Speaking of which, he's at 0, so he's getting some overflow from his teammates, but not super great. The crab will be defeated, though, just because there's so much here for Team 1. And it looks like the units have been forced back by the chicken from Dark Sand. He has one right here, and another one still under control of you. Building a fourth one as we speak. Actually, a fifth one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 will soon be under his control. That's a lot of chickens. They're laying eggs very, very quickly here. T3 Naval Headquarters and T2 are down. So Team 2 has lost all, or pretty much all, power in Navy. And that's not great, considering the fact that, I mean, it can hit multiple bases, and it has been for a while now, but Team 2 has been able to hold off a lot of that aggression. But now with the death of the naval facilities, Team 1 can put all of the naval pressure on the coastline here and just bombard Team 2 with artillery and with missiles. So, not a good day for Team 2 on this eastern side. So, Nomander, I was going to say Nanoman, but Nomander's over here just being like, I'm glad I'm not over there anymore. A couple of spy planes here for you, just hanging out, and I don't know why that Team 2 doesn't deal with that. They know where one of the comms are. They see another unit down there, it looks like. They probably think it's a... If they're not paying attention, they probably think that's a comm. Because what else would it be? It wouldn't just be a regular brick. Nuke is outbound from Team 1. And it's outbound from Hyper 2001. Where is it going? Is it going for Navy? Is it going for main base? It's going northeast, so maybe Navy... Looks like it's too shallow of a, or too further over to the east. It wouldn't be hitting anything over here. There is a couple of SMDs being built on the shoreline there to protect the facilities. But it looks like it's going after used facilities. That's going to hurt. There's also a chicken down there. The chicken will escape the blast radius, but it might get singed a little bit. Nah, it should be fine. First nuke of the game. Kaboom! All of it is gone. Both Sanoman and Reckifer were probably hoping that nuke would launch sooner. We do see laser is done for Hyper 2001, going for teleporter, so we're going to have 2 telemaser commanders outbound from Team 2. That is just not great for Team 1. They have to build PD all over the place. Crab is down. Chicken is down. More chickens are going to go down. Monkey is down. Another chicken. And that chicken wasn't actually gifted over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 chickens, soon to be 7, but that one's dead, and the other one is dead, and that one's almost online. Team 1, that's a lot of experimental firepower. So they could just actually full send it on the Team 2's location. The only problem with that is Team 2 can counter that with just a lot of Team 1 or even T2 spam. As the transport says, Killa, and there are transports sitting here. Don't know what they're going to be for, but maybe transporting units over to this section of the map, most likely. 4 chickens. That's just an ion storm. But 5 chickens should be online here shortly. Yep, there it is. Spy planes over top for Hyper 2001, looking for his next victim in the nuke department. And the T3 Naval Headquarters spammed up very quickly for you. Really wants to make sure that he has those battleships at his disposal at all times. Chicken moving in from the water. We have tons of artillery and missile spam over here. And now it's just missile command every day, all day. Wake up, play missile command. Go to sleep, wake up, play missile command, and that's it. That's all they do. Chicken is now breached the land. Is now moving into the crab that's being built here. I don't think it is going to be built, unfortunately. A lot of the lasers, though, due to their line of sight necessities, aren't able to actually target a lot of things. But there are some artillery inbound from these galaxies. Regather not going to have a good day. That crab is going to die. T3 units being spammed up heavily. Looks like it's just engineer supports, though. Crab's causing some nuisance complaints to be levied at them just because they're sitting there stomping on everybody. T3 gunships inbound, though. That will stop that chicken right quick. Crab somehow still alive, granted severely damaged. T3 Mex is being taken offline. Not going to help Regather's eco, but he will have a nice little chicken wreck to scoop up, so that will probably offset the loss in Mex's second nuke outbound. This time it is also outbound from Hyper 2001. So either he goes for the other headquarters. I always want to say headquarters is for some reason, because there's 2 of them. I don't think he'll split the difference. He could try, but I don't think it'll be enough damage. But he's not actually going for that. At least that one. He's going for this one, it looks like. No, he's going to keep going. The SMD, not even... Oh, I was going to say not even loaded because it fired its missile. But 4 chickens. 2 of them remain. T3 facilities being knocked up, but they're only land facilities. Bug is online for Nano. I keep saying Nanoman. Nomander. And Percy's open up, and that's not a good day. Another nuke outbound, this time from Nomander. Now he's going for that target. Of course, that's easy coordinated because Hyper 2001 and Nomander are probably in the same chat. And like, okay, I'll fire on this position with my nuke. If it doesn't land, fire your nuke. And it is going to land. And Team 1 is being shooed up. Those chickens are gone. That's a lot of reclaim. The match started with 133 plus thousand. It's now at 300,000 mass on the field. A lot of it, of course, right here. And there's a decent chunk up here as well. And, of course, 24,000 in the middle of the base. The Iron Storm activating, killing off all that stuff nearby. Crab still under construction. I don't know if it's the same crab. No, it's the same crab because the percentage is, or the orange bar on the bottom is almost done. So that crab will finish, but it's going to be severely wounded. So it's not really going to be that useful. Torp bomber sitting on the shoreline because they don't have any targets anymore. Okay, not useful on land. Gunship's transferred over to Nomander. He's going to link up with the Soul Ripper. I wonder what he's doing with that. And Nuke does land. Kaboom! Takes out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 core mixes, as well as a ton of PGens and other land facilities. And I think there was an air facility in there as well. SMD being heavily assisted. I don't think it's going to matter at that point, though. There's SMD over here. That one's not loaded. SMD over here is loaded. And I do love the 4 shields. Nice little array. You can actually put some PD next to them as well. But looks like there's some power issues here for Darsan. Ooh, yeah, that's not great. Hasn't rebuilt part of that air grid that he lost earlier to Nomander's teleportation shenanigans. We do see gunship T3 and T4 inbound. Team 1 has 1 chicken. Darsan building a YOLO. Is Team 2 aware of that? Oh, they are. And I wonder where they're going. They're on a collision course. Team 1 doesn't have a lot to stop them. Couple of lightning tanks and T3 AA, but there's a lot of ASFs to protect those gunships, and of course the Soul Rippers inbound. No shields online is gonna hurt. AA gonna be spammed up. Whalers actually not even going for the YOLO. Oh, nope, there they go. They're gonna go for something. Looks like the engineers or something. I don't know what they're actually shooting at. Looks like they're just targeting the shields at this point. The emitters are down. They targeted the SMDs. That's the main focus. Corsairs come in for the snipe. They take out the YOLO, and a nuke is outbound. This time from Hyper 2001. Don't know where that one's going. Probably for the air grid. And now the gunships are just going to rampage all around. Darsan Control K is seeing that the game is not really going his way. And he says it's over. I mean, with a gunship horde like that, plus the YOLO being taken out, and actually the eco lead isn't that high. Corsairs going after the other SMD. 2 bugs, actually, not 1. That's a dead SMD. And, yep, there it goes. Airgrid's going to be the next target. The PGens would be the most valuable thing to take out in that regard. Nuke lands over here. Kaboom! Takes out the SMD and everything else for Twitchy Mofo. His eco is... No, the power's still holding on, but everything else is not doing super well. You sitting at 1.2k mass. More mass than anybody on Team 2 individually. But still, Team 2 collectively is producing more mass. Looks like gunships are down to just a handful with the 2 T4 Soul Rippers still running amok. 42 minutes on the clock here. Navy has been won by Team 1 for a while now, but as you can see, it's not really impacting the game as much as they would like. They've taken out a lot of the shore mass as well as a decent amount of the core mass over here to the east for both Rekather and Nomander's original bases. But it's just not having the overall impact that they would like. Strap bombers being stacked up. Of course, nukes being loaded heavily. Speaking of which, nuke is fired and going after the air grid. Well, that's a dead air grid here for Team 1. That'll be their last air grid. They do have a T3 air facility over here, but nothing resembling an air grid. Looks like the gunships have now retreated back to friendlier territory. Go somewhere else. I can nuke this, says Hyper 2001. Already 30%, says Killa. There is an artillery being built. I don't think it's really needed at this point. So that's the thing. Satellite online for Rye, guys. Love to see that out of the UEF commanders. Unless you guys are building a game editor, it's done, says Darsan. There it goes. Kaboom! Takes out a ton of power. A couple of core mass extractors. You actually gets dropped off over here to the north in that nice little pond there that we saw Nomando teleport to one time. We also see Twitchy Mofo going for the same pond. So both of the remaining players for Team 1 are in the same pond. Granted, probably not a good idea with nukes abounding. And we can see the just slow eradication of Team 2's eastern side. And again, yeah, it's great that Team 1 took that out, but look at all of the infrastructure that still remains over here to the west. There's so much to get through. Team 1, they don't have much. Huge loss in mexes. 1.2 versus 1.9. We have some fat boys pushing in down the middle. Nice little suits there in the middle. Nuke is outbound from Team 2. Looks like that's Nomander's nuke going after everything over here. No, that's Hyper 2001. Never mind. Wait, hold on. Oh, that's his second nuke is going this way. Never mind. Looks like his second nuke right here is going for that location. Hyper 2001 going to get back on a transport, making sure he doesn't die. That's definitely a smart play. Keeps the transport nearby just in case, so he can easily just boop and get out of there. See, now the only way that could be countered is if Team 2 has some ASFs or whatever aircraft nearby, or AA for that matter, just anything. And that transport is dead and gone. There goes the nuke, going to take out a ton of other support structures. Kaboom! Those chickens are not going to be produced anytime soon. Chickens, speaking of which, are running down this western side, and those fat boys are about to come in range of those, and that chicken will probably... Well, that chicken might die, but that chicken might be doing it. Might be able to take out those two fat boys. Nuke is loading pretty quickly, and also there's already a nuke loaded anyways. SMD is being built just in case. Love to see that. Nuke over here half loaded. 135,000 mass killed with that nuke, and 122,000 mass killed with that nuke. So 250 plus 180,000 mass killed with the comm. We're looking at 400 plus thousand with one comm and two nukes. Well, two nuke silos. So lots and lots of mass killed. You can just see it's just not really going any further than this for Team 1 in the Navy. I mean, there's so much TMD, it doesn't even matter. And they really can't get anywhere close. There's a crab running around, but that's going to get bodied very quickly by all those battleships. Granted, it probably will kill these two right here. But maybe. I don't know. That's a lot of firepower. It's already lost a third of its hit points. I'm losing more all the time. And it doesn't even matter. Even if some battleships get taken out, even if crab gets taken out, nothing happens. And now there's another nuke over here. That's almost loaded. So Team 2 has 3 nukes about to be loaded or have been loaded and will fire here shortly, I presume. Artillery is now almost done for Sanoman. That nuke is about to fire. Oh, I mean, it should fire. There's already one loaded. You might as well fire it. And this one is about to fire, and it's going to launch immediately. Look at that. Look at that, all that support as well. There's actually a warning, which is really cool. I didn't notice that there's actually like a warning alarm that sounds when the nuke is fired. Nuke is going straight for the comm of you. You's up here hanging out, and then the other nuke is going to land right there. From looks like Hyper 2001 just going to spam nukes up there. Transport trying to be ground fired, but not really working here for Rye guys. It is a nice attempt. ASFs are inbound, and they probably know about it. They definitely know about it, I think, I would presume. We have a bug over here taking out the rest of the remnants over there. ASFs are inbound, and the comm is still on the transport. The comm's got to move, or he's dead. He's going to move. We also have the nuke inbound. The nuke will be not effective because the transport moves, but the comm needs to land immediately. Got to land that thing. And no, the transport gets knocked out of the sky by Sanoman. And of course, it's right over Twitchy Mofo's head. And actually, a lot of ASFs died because of that nuke explosion. But Twitchy Mofo is now the last remaining player for Team 1. Nuke lands, doesn't do anything because nothing was there. But It's just not looking good. And Nuke lands over here. Kaboom! Takes out a bunch of battleships. Another nuke's outbound from Team 2. I think that was Rekather's nuke, actually. Yep, that was Rekather's nuke. We have another nuke outbound from Nomad. He has another one in the clip, just not wanting to fire it. And that nuke is inbound. Artillery also landing. Awasa bomber gets off the ground and then sits right back on it. I think the artillery is actually impacted. Oh, it actually does hit the bomber. Look at that. It looks like there's more SMBs as well over there. Transport hits a couple of more engineers. Another nuke lands right here. Kaboom! Takes out more boats and actually a chicken that was underneath the surface. Nice grab there. Doesn't take out the headquarters, but it takes out a whole lot of other stuff. You can see the western side is completely just devoid of the everything at this point. A couple of mexes and not really a whole lot else. But the push is eastward. What is that, 100 plus T1 bombers? 100 plus T1 bombers inbound here for Hyper 1001. Fatboy going to hide underneath the surface of the water. Just barely, but still getting hit, though. Needs to actually fully submerge. Bombers are inbound. Going to try to strike at some comms in the water. Actually, they're not even going to hit anything. Rekather actually going to walk into range of that and goes, oh, wait, hold on. Wrong way. Nuke launches once again for Hyper 2001. Does this one launch yet? Nope, still has that one loaded. And those ASFs are going to move in. Bomber's going to just sit on the edge of the screen. That's not great. One gets essentially immediately killed. The second one does drop a payload on top of a transport, but there's nothing on that transport, so that doesn't really go anywhere. Kills off some ASF, but that's about it. Nuke is outbound. It's going to take out that SMD. The SMD is about to load. Nope, it doesn't fire in time. It's trying to find the comm. The comm of Team 1's remaining player of Twitchy is over there. Another nuke. Kaboom! Takes that out. It's out over top going after some mexes. I mean, this game is over at this point. 49 minutes on the clock. The Navy is actually starting to be driven back by Team 2. And that is the game here. Right, guys? Well, he's the one that gets the notification that he wins the game, and remaining player for Twitchy just teleports out, says, nope, see ya, bye. And Nomander, I mean, the teleporting around was great. Got a kill out of it, took out so many mexes, so many PGens, so much everything. It really just set Team 1 back far enough to where Team 2 was able to just hang back, relax, build some nukes. They ended up building artillery and just nuked. And we did have Rye Guys on land pushing in, which he did a very good job of that. But it was mainly been driven by the nukes and Nomander. I mean, it helps that, this nuke got, 30,000 mass killed. This nuke right here, where is it? Oh, there it is, in front of my face. 150,000 mass killed. We had this nuke, 170,000 mass killed. Nomander, 185,000. I mean, we're sitting at pretty close to 500 mass killed with all of those nukes and the comm of Nomander. And we even had Hyper 2001 with his own telemaser just in case. So Team 2 was prepared for any sort of nonsense to happen. And it wasn't death by 1,000 cuts for Team 1, but there was definitely a lot of just stuff cut from them, and they just couldn't regrow those lost limbs. So that's the game here, folks. 49 minutes, 49 seconds on the clock. Love to see the duality of those numbers. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you haven't done so already, like the video and subscribe to the channel. And as always, I will see all of you in the next one.